What a naughty vicar. I wonder what he was into. Well, hello and welcome to the second of my videos about the year 2021. We're nearly 3 months in and 9 more to go. I just hope the next 9 pan out better for everybody compared to the first 3 months of this year. Middle of March and it's still not looking good given the information that's on the news at the moment, so I'm really hoping things will pick up for everybody in due course. In the last video I said that I was fed up. Well, yeah, I still am fed up. I'm fed up with lockdown, fed up with the restrictions, and I'm fed up with being furloughed as well. It's almost a year since the first lockdown in England started. And to be honest, I never thought it would last this long. I have been planning some more travel and history videos for this year. With all the lockdown restrictions, I'm wondering whether I'll actually get to make them. I really hope I do, because I've got some really interesting stories to tell in coming videos. And there are some interesting stories in this video as well, towards the end, where I talk about the Domesday Survey of 1086 and some scandals within the local church here. The weather's not too brilliant today, but the location certainly is. I'm in a delightful little park in Lexden, which is about a mile from the centre of Colchester. Lexden was a little village at one point, but with the urban sprawl from Colchester, Lexden and the surrounding area has been consumed into, well, the urban sprawl of Colchester. But there are still aspects of Lexden which remain today, which really give it its villagey feel, apart from, of course, the main road that goes all the way through it. In my last video I mentioned that I was furloughed, and that is still the case, but I'm looking forward to going back to work shortly. Other people have already started to go back to work, so it's just a question now of waiting for my time until I get the call to go back. So it's something I'm really looking forward to. I actually did some maths the other day, and I actually worked out that in the last year I've actually only worked for 60 days. Now that's not a lot, but considering my days are about 16 hours long, I work 1 day and then 2 days off on a rota. So I've had a lot of spare time to devote to my YouTube channel and to my history research, something which I've always enjoyed doing. But the other good news is I've had my COVID vaccination. It was last week, and I've been so looking forward to this, especially since I had COVID for the second time back in January of this year. There's a lot of press at the moment, some negative, some positive, about the various vaccines and possible side effects. But I had the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is actually the one that I wanted, and I felt fine for about the first 20 hours. And then the following morning, I started to feel groggy, very tired, had the shivers, and felt distinctively unwell. But that only lasted a few hours, and although I was incredibly tired, those side effects soon wore off, which was good. But the big thing at the moment is with travel companies all talking about passengers having a COVID passport. And I think this is going to be the new norm. I really hope not, but I think it probably will be. Airlines and cruise ships have already stated that you need to have the COVID passport. You need to have proof that you've had the 2 vaccinations if you want to travel with them. And a lot of hotels are also moving in that direction. I can see the benefits of doing that, but also at the same time there are so many people who are exempt from having the vaccination or choose not to, that they would be unfairly discriminated against. So let's hope that some common sense prevails and this isn't actually set in law. For me, I will have a COVID passport. I've kept a record of my vaccination because I think that it's probably the way forward, but I've got my reservations about COVID restrictions and COVID laws lasting for years to come, but I guess time will tell on that one. Just walking up to the church of St Leonard here in Lexden. There's been a church here since the 14th century, and the first recorded vicar was a man called Robert Guinan in 1325. There have been numerous vicars who have served this parish over the years, some of whom have been little more interesting than others. The first was a man called Stephen Nettles, and he came to the parish in 1610. He served the parish well. That is, until he started to develop a bit of a reputation. In 1644, depositions were made against him, and he was accused of frequenting the local inns and taverns, and there were many women who accused him of immorality. The history books don't say what those immoralities were, but they do record that they were rather extreme, and that they could hardly be believed. What a naughty vicar! I wonder what he was into. Another vicar was Nathaniel Cuffley, and his passion was horses, and he came to the parish in 1669. But in 1691 his 2 horses were stolen. He put an advert in the London Gazette offering a reward of 1 guinea for their safe return. Sadly, the history books don't say whether the horses were returned or not, but given the value of a horse in 1691, it seems unlikely. The village of Lexden was recorded in the Domesday Survey of 1086. The survey recorded 25 households in the village. That puts Lexden in the top 40% of all the settlements that were recorded in that survey. In contrast, Birmingham only recorded 9 households and was put in the lowest 40% of all the settlements recorded. In that survey, Lexden recorded 21 villagers, 23 smallholders, 16 freemen and 15 slaves. There was also 18 acres of meadow, woodland with 200 pigs, probably wild boar, and 3 mills. Also livestock comprising of 11 horses, 20 cattle, 59 pigs and 260 sheep. Incidentally, no livestock was recorded in Birmingham. It's quite incredible to think that back in 1086, the small village of Lexden was bigger than Birmingham. It's quite a different story now. The Domesday Survey, or the Domesday Book as it's called now, was established by William the Conqueror in 1086 to establish the taxable wealth of the country. It's interesting that King William I, or Duke William of Normandy, William the Conqueror as he's also known, actually appears in my family tree on my mother's side. I have to go back about 29 generations and quite a few sidesteps to actually find him, but he's there. I think I worked out once that he was my 29th cousin, 27 times removed. Good old cousin William. The Domesday Survey was the first census in Britain. The next one wasn't until 1841, but it wasn't nearly as comprehensive as the Domesday Survey of 1086. The 1840 census simply asked people's name, their age and their occupation, and that was listed against the address that they were currently living at. There's been a census in Britain now every 10 years since 1841. And gradually the censuses have asked more questions, gathering a little more information about the general public. And this year they've asked far more questions than I've ever answered before in a national census. More questions about, more personal questions, more questions about work and employment, marital status and sexual orientation, which I feel that some of those questions have probably gone perhaps a little too far. But there was one question which tried to establish just how many households were either on furlough or quarantining or were self-isolating due to the coronavirus. I guess the information provided here will provide historians with a snapshot of the country, and just to see exactly how on this particular day, Census Day, that the coronavirus was actually impacting the country. The information won't be made public for another 100 years, so we won't know the results, unfortunately. I don't plan on living that long. But I think for the people who were around then to look back and compare this coronavirus and the state of the country and what happened with their own circumstances, if there was another virus at the time, another pandemic, would be rather interesting. All we can do today is compare the coronavirus with recent outbreaks of bird flu, H5N1, SARS, and other similar such pandemics which have affected various countries around the world. Anyway, this is the end of this video. I hope you've liked it and enjoyed it. If you have, hit that subscribe button and follow my journey. Hopefully in the next few weeks I'll get out and about and record some history videos, some travel videos, and go back to doing what I intended with this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.